Hey guys, Magnus here, bringing you another video. So today we're going to be doing my top 10 worst buildings of 2020. So this is of course the last of my 2020 list videos. So we're going to be going through what I consider the top 10 worst buildings of 2020. I do want to say though, I think this year has been okay, or 2020 anyway, was an okay year for buildings. I don't think there was too many terrible buildings we got. But there certainly were some real bad ones, so we've got to talk about them. So, of course, like my other top 10 videos and top 5 videos, I'm going to structure this. First, I'm going to start off with some dishonorable mentions, and then we'll get into the top 10. So, let's start. I've got two dishonorable mentions I want to talk about. The first of which is the Van Houten Villa. So, the main reason why I'm giving this one a dishonorable mention is I think it's... the way it's kind of proportioned, the way it's sized, is way too small. It doesn't look right. I just think it should have been they should have designed it to be a bit bigger. I just think it really looks odd. When I placed it down, I was like, it's too small. And I think it makes it a bit difficult to decorate. Apart from that, I do think it's a bit of a generic building anyway. You know, we've got so many of these villas and mansions. I just think that they're all a bit, like I said, generic. So that's why I'm putting this one as a dishonorable mention. But it's not terrible. It's fine. But I do think it deserved a little mention here. Hell Stage. If this didn't look so cool, it would be on my list. But it looks awesome, so I give it a pass. But that being said, it is an interior. It is a stage. So it really should not be a building. I've got to, just in principle, I've got to put it on this list somewhere. So I thought I'd do a dishonorable mention for it. I do think it looks cool. I do think it's fairly easy to decorate. But it, like I said, fundamentally, it's an interior. So I have to bash it a little bit. So that is the Hell Stage. But it does look awesome. So it doesn't quite make the top 10 list. Like most interiors would normally. Anyway, let's get into the top 10. Number 10, starting off with Toys Were Us. So the main reason why Toys Were Us is here is I'm sick to death of Toys R Us parodies. I don't know about you guys, but we've got a few in the past. I think we've got two, haven't we? Got the Babies R Us, isn't it? And then we got another one. Yeah, there's just a few of these Toys R Us parodies. I think this one is nothing too special. Its inclusion was a bit meh as well. So yeah, I just didn't think this building was particularly amazing. Obviously, it was thrown into the Game of Games, right? Yeah, nothing much more to say. I just think I'm kind of bored of these parody buildings. It's kind of a lazy parody building, so that's all I've got to say about it. Toys R Us, number 10. Springfield Wrestling Pavilion. I don't know. I know this is like a building from the show, but it looks so plain and boring. I just don't like it. Maybe it's because it comes from the wrestling updates that gives like a sour taste, but I just think it looks a bit bland and ugly. It doesn't look like anything, right? It's kind of not hard to decorate, but it's nothing that stands out. It's very bland, and that's the main reason why I'm putting it here. There's literally no other reason. I just think it looks a bit bland. Moving on to that's number 9 anyway. The Springfield Wrestling Pavilion. Blog Huts. That's number 8. Yeah, just nothing amazing really. Again, kind of. Maybe you could even argue these should be decorations. I don't know. Just nothing too special as a building. Very generic, similar to things we've got in the past. Yeah, there's a few things you can say about the blog huts. They're just like mainly it's just nothing amazing. So that's why I'm putting the blog huts here. Canadian Border. This one actually was voted as the best building of 2020, and I didn't nominate it. Another judge nominated it, but I don't really understand why. I have a few issues with the Canadian Border. First of all, I don't think like natural landscapes really should be buildings. Apart from like certain cases, so I don't know. Like I feel like certain things there's maybe a reason for it, but this one especially, I don't think there was a. I don't think there should have been a building. It should have just been a decoration. And on top of that, I think it's too small. It's like a really hard thing to make as a even if they were to make it as a decoration, it would be kind of hard to adjust to its size. But I just think this is too small. It should have been a little bit bigger if they wanted to add this as a decoration. So yeah, that's the Canadian Border there is. What number was this? Number 6? Or is it number 7? Number 7, Canadian border. Helmos. I believe this is a tapped out exclusive. I tried my best to find it in the show. I don't believe it has ever appeared in the show, so I think this is a tapped out exclusive. So, for a starter, I have like mixed things on tapped out exclusives. Sometimes I love them, sometimes I hate them. I think there are some good tapped out exclusive buildings in the game. A good example, obviously, in my last video, I talked about the old Scratchers gym, and I also talked about the hammock district that we got in the Secret Agents update. This one I just don't really like, especially considering there's no excuse for this being a skin. This could have just been a skin for Moe's. If they wanted to kind of add this in the game, they really could have just given this as a skin. Also, I just don't think it's very creative. It looks kind of cool, I guess, but I don't know. I wish they kind of gave us something, you know, something that actually appeared in the show instead of just giving us another Mo clone building. So that's why I'm putting Helmos here. Burns Cult Headquarters. Okay, there's a few reasons why this one's here. I kind of talked about it when it first came out, but main reason is obviously I believe it should be a skin for the control tower building that we've got in the game already, which is of course part of the nuclear power plant. Should be a skin for that, for a starter. Second of all, we've already got the statues that you see in the statues that are in the building, the 2 burn statues. They already added one of these statues in a previous update, in the 2016 winter update. So it's kind of a rehash of 2 things. It's a rehash of those statues that we got, and also a rehash of the control tower building. And yeah, I just don't think it really should be its own unique building. It felt a bit forced. They kind of threw it in there just because they tied in the Joy the Second episode, where really they could have. I probably would have been a bit more lenient on this thing if they didn't give us those statues in the past. But the fact that they gave us this felt like, you know, this building kind of felt kind of lazy because they've already given us parts of this building before. So that's why I'm putting this as number 4, I believe. Yeah, number 4. Wait, no, number 5. Sorry, I can't keep track. Moving on to number 4. Cretaceous Park. Few reasons why this one's on here. First of all, it's not the right size. It's way too small. It doesn't look right. It just looks like they've kind of, you know, made it too small. It should be bigger. Second of all, its inclusion was very random, very odd, didn't make much sense. So that's why I'm putting Cretaceous Park here. Yeah, if they made it a bit bigger, and if its inclusion in the update, of course this came with the Black History update, which is really weird. If they kind of made it so, you know, made it a bit more sense, then maybe I would have given it the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, it was really randomly placed. We got a few future buildings in the Black History update. We got the Moving On, we got the Hard Lad, and we also got this. So it was just really odd that they threw a bunch of future buildings in there, and I just think this inclusion was kind of off. So, and also the building is kind of small. So that's why this one is number 4. Moving on. Golden Ring Wrestling Headquarters. Okay, another tapped out exclusive building. This one though, in particular, just looks out of place. So obviously they had a lack of buildings to add in the wrestling update, which honestly wouldn't have been a terrible thing because they could have just tied in some buildings. As long as they made it make sense, they could have tied in quite a few buildings. Look at my Simpsons Wrestling Part 2 update idea if you want to, like, a kind of gist of how I think they should have done it, or like how they should do it if they ever decide to do a second one. This one though, I just think it was kind of off. I don't really think they should have really added this. The building just looks out of place in my opinion. It doesn't look right. It doesn't look like a building from The Simpsons. And also it's kind of ugly. I don't think it's particularly nice looking. So that's why I'm putting that as number 3. Humanity's Hope, which is of course the building we got from the blogs giving. Yeah, I think this one shouldn't be a building for sure. And also I feel like it's a bit too small. It should have been a bit bigger. Considering this is like how big the ship would have been. You know, thinking about this is like a ship that had all those kids and all the adults stored away on it. This ship should be bigger in the game. And on top of that, it really shouldn't be a building. It should be a decoration. So that's why I'm putting Humanity's Hope as number 2. I'm not really got much more to say. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. But anyway, we of course have to have that number 1. So can we have that drum roll, please? Number 1 is Beefy Bishop's Barber Shop. So of course, this would be number 1. This is also voted as the worst building in 2020 by you guys in the Tapped Out Awards. So that's a good thing, because I completely agree. This building is garbage. The fact that they gave us this building is insulting to me. Because it doesn't make... Oh my god. I've got so many things to complain. Like, obviously, the main reason why this is number 1 is it's an interior. But on top of that, it's an interior as a building. And also it's Tapped Out exclusive. I believe it does, like, briefly, like, you can see it on the pamphlet that Beefy Bishop comes with. But my point here is, like, if they wanted to give us Beefy Bishop's Barbershop, why not just make a Tapped Out exclusive building? Why, like, give us an interior? Why not just make, you know, like, give us, like, an actual building? Maybe you could have a window that, you know, you can see the interior through. Maybe there's, like, a glass window, and you can kind of see this interior through it. Like, if they're going to give us something Tapped Out exclusive, make it decent at least. So that's the main reason why this is number 1. It's an interior. It sucks. The character it came with sucks. You know, it doesn't. It's insulting that they even gave this to us. It should be I mean, if they were gonna give this interior, it should be a decoration. Obviously, there's multiple reasons why this is number 1. Also, it was premium. So yeah. So that's why it's number 1. It's by far, maybe even one of the worst, probably the worst building I've ever gotten Tapped Out. I think it probably is the worst building ever. So, or at least it's up there. So that's, of course, Beefy Bishop's Barbershop. I could go on a giant rant, but you guys know I hate this building, so there's no point. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Tell me your thoughts on what you think the worst buildings are. Make sure to give me your top 5, or your top 10, or your top 1 if you can't be bothered doing 10. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Thanks for watching as always. Goodbye.